Why does your homemade yogurt turn out runny, watery, or fail to set? If you've ever failed at making yogurt at home, chances are you're making one of these 5 mistakes. And the surprising part is, you only need 2 simple ingredients to make yogurt that's thick, smooth, and creamy like this. When done correctly, you can even turn the entire jar upside down without the yogurt spilling out. Let's take a look at what these 5 mistakes are and how to fix each one. First, we need to prepare the jars for the yogurt. And mistake number 1 that many people often overlook is, the yogurt jars are not cleaned properly. You can prepare the ingredients perfectly, but if there is still grease, food residue, dust, or leftover yogurt inside the jars, they can interfere with the fermentation process and make the final result inconsistent. So first, wash each glass jar thoroughly with warm water and dish soap. It's nice to know that we see each other all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can subscribe by clicking the subscribe button. It's great to see your support. Don't just give them a quick rinse. Pay special attention to the bottom, sides, and rim of the jars. These are the areas where milk residue or grease can easily remain. Don't forget to wash the jar lids thoroughly too. After washing, steam the jars for about 10 minutes. The hot steam helps reduce the amount of microorganisms remaining on the surface of the jars, creating a cleaner environment before fermentation begins. After steaming, don't wipe the inside of the jars with a towel. Instead, place the jars upside down or let them air dry naturally until the excess water has drained away. It's important that the jars are clean and dry, with no dirt, grease, or excess water left inside before adding the milk. It's just a small step, but it helps create a cleaner and more stable environment for the live cultures in the yogurt starter to work. While we wait for the jars to dry, let's prepare the milk. For thick, smooth, and creamy yogurt, I recommend using plain, unsweetened whole milk. Pour the milk into a pot and start heating it over medium heat. But here's an important point. Don't just warm the milk and turn off the heat right away. If you want your yogurt to have a thicker and smoother texture, heat the milk to about 82 to 85 degrees Celsius, 180 to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. At this temperature, the milk proteins change structure and help form a stronger network as the yogurt ferments. While heating, stir gently and frequently to ensure the milk heats evenly and doesn't stick or burn on the bottom of the pot. Once the milk reaches the desired temperature, turn off the heat and let it cool down. And this is when you absolutely should not add the yogurt starter right away. Milk that is too hot can damage or kill the live cultures in the yogurt starter, weakening the fermentation process, and your yogurt may even fail to set properly. While we wait for the milk to cool, let's prepare the yogurt starter. Mistake number 2 is using the wrong yogurt starter. Not every yogurt is suitable for making homemade yogurt. Choose plain, unsweetened yogurt with live cultures. If you're in the US, look for the words live and active cultures on the label. Before using it, check that the yogurt is fresh, has been properly refrigerated, and looks and smells normal. A small amount of whey on the surface is completely fine. Just stir it back in before using the yogurt as your starter. But if you notice mold, an unusual smell, unusual color, or any other signs of spoilage, don't use it. Another common mistake is using too much or too little starter. For this recipe, I use about 100 to 125 grams of yogurt starter for 1 liter of milk. More starter doesn't necessarily mean thicker or better yogurt. What really matters is using a healthy starter and keeping the milk at the right temperature during fermentation. Once the heated milk has cooled to around 43 to 46 degrees Celsius, 110 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, it's ready for the starter. If you have a kitchen thermometer, use it. It's the most reliable way to check. If the milk has cooled too much, gently warm it back to this range before adding the starter. Never add the starter while the milk is still too hot. because excessive heat can damage the live cultures and interfere with fermentation. Now that the milk has cooled to the right temperature, we're ready to add the yogurt starter. Add the yogurt starter to a clean bowl. Then, take a small amount of warm milk from the pot and add it to the bowl. Gently stir until the yogurt is completely dissolved. Next, slowly pour this mixture back into the pot of milk. Use a whisk or spoon to gently stir for about 30 to 60 seconds, helping the live cultures distribute evenly throughout the milk. Don't whisk too vigorously or stir too quickly, as this can create too much foam. You only need to stir enough to evenly incorporate the starter into the milk. Immediately after mixing, pour the milk into the jars that have been thoroughly cleaned and completely drained. Try to divide the milk evenly among the jars, then put the lids on. From this moment on, the fermentation process officially begins. The live cultures in the yogurt starter will consume the lactose in the milk and produce lactic acid. This process gradually causes the milk to set and creates the characteristic tangy flavor of yogurt. But for the fermentation process to work properly, the live cultures need a warm and stable environment. If the temperature is too low, fermentation will happen more slowly, and the yogurt may take longer to set. On the other hand, if the temperature is too high, the live cultures can also be affected. So, the key is not to ferment the yogurt at the highest temperature possible, but to maintain a stable temperature throughout the fermentation process. Next comes the final step, and this is also the step that can determine whether your yogurt sets beautifully. Arrange the yogurt jars inside a large pot or insulated container. If you're using a pot, place the pot on a thick blanket. Next, prepare warm water at around 43 to 46 degrees Celsius, 110 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Slowly pour the warm water into the pot until it reaches about half to 2/3 of the height of the yogurt jars. This creates a warm water bath, helping heat transfer evenly around the jars and keeping the fermentation environment more stable. Cover the pot tightly with the lid, then wrap a towel around the pot to help retain the heat for longer. Now, let the yogurt ferment for about 6 to 8 hours. During the entire fermentation process, don't repeatedly open the lid, stir, or move the yogurt jars, as this can disrupt the structure that is forming. Every time you open the lid, heat can escape, and the fermentation environment can change. And this is the most important thing. You don't need to ferment yogurt for a very long time. You need to keep the temperature stable. After about 6 to 8 hours, check the yogurt. If the surface has set, and when you gently move or slightly tilt the jar, the yogurt jiggles gently as one piece instead of flowing, it means the yogurt is ready. If the yogurt is still a little runny, let it ferment a little longer and check again. Don't rush to put it in the refrigerator if the yogurt hasn't reached the desired consistency yet. Once the yogurt has set, transfer the jars to the refrigerator right away. Chill for at least 4 to 6 hours, and preferably overnight. This step helps the yogurt stabilize its texture, become thicker, smoother, and more enjoyable to eat. After chilling, you'll have thick, smooth, creamy, and delicious yogurt, perfect to enjoy with fresh fruit, granola, nuts, or simply on its own. Where are you watching from? Please leave a comment to let me know. Even when you turn the yogurt upside down, it still won't run out. And that's the whole secret. You don't need any complicated ingredients or special equipment. All you need is unsweetened milk and yogurt starter containing live cultures, along with these 5 important factors: clean equipment, a quality starter, the right milk temperature, thorough mixing, and maintaining a stable temperature throughout the fermentation process. Control these 5 factors well, and you'll be able to make thick, smooth, creamy yogurt with a beautiful texture right at home. The video ends here. If you have any comments, please leave a comment below. If you find the video interesting, please give me a like. Don't forget to share it with your relatives and friends. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Goodbye. See you in the next video.